Safe to say, drinks on AJ Terrell tonight. He got a massive contract extension from the Atlanta Falcons. It's an NFL record for his position. So we're going to break it all down on today's video, tell you everything you need to know about Terrell's new deal, which is a 4-year, $81 million contract, $20.25 million on average, and an NFL record $65.8 million guaranteed for a cornerback. Now, initial thoughts are always for big contracts, subtract 1 year, 3 years, and apply to the guarantee. So I look at it as a 3-year, $65 million contract, just in case for whatever reason the Falcons want to get out a year early if things aren't going well. We know that can happen from time to time. But overall, it's a bit bigger than I expected. That's what she said. But 4 years, $81 million. We'll look at what I projected and compare to what he got, but congrats to Terrell. The dude got paid today. Now, this is why you subscribe to the channel, though. Whenever news breaks, we're going to get you a video. I'm actually off today because the Falcons have their preseason game tomorrow, so Thursday was my day off, but I still came in to get you guys a video. I didn't want to leave you hanging. So go ahead and subscribe. We need 21 more subs to reach our next baby milestone. Now, Terrell's new deal lands him at number 2 in terms of highest paid cornerbacks per year, behind Jair Alexander and ahead of Denzel Ward. Safe to say it's a little bit more than what I projected or expected. I'm ultimately not going to be too mad or upset or have a little hissy fit over a few extra $1 million. They didn't reset the cornerback market with Terrell, but it's definitely a little bit higher than what I thought he would get. I mean, we have been talking about Terrell extension for a while, so I'm happy it got done. I probably should have let off with that earlier, but I thought it'd be more in the neighborhood of $472 million, an average of $18 million, make him a top 10 highest paid corner. But we saw Tyson Campbell from the Jacksonville Jaguars get a nice extension a few weeks ago, so I definitely think that Terrell went, all right, whatever he got, I'm getting more than that. And the Falcons pony up a good amount of change. Don't get me wrong. This is not a minor expending by any stretch of the imagination. But Terrell has been one of the most underappreciated DBs in football. He doesn't have the Pro Bowl accolades to go along with it. But so many times that can just be a result of a popularity contest. How do I know that? Well, even the NFL players voted that Aaron Rodgers was a top 100 player last year, and he played 4 snaps. Jalen Johnson was undoubtedly the best corner, the second best corner in football last year, and he did not even finish in the top 100. So I don't think we should just evaluate Terrell's career based on whether or not he made a Pro Bowl or how many he made. But when you look at his career, I mean, the big wow plays have disappeared the last 2 seasons, but we've talked about it before. I'm willing to accept that a big reason why is he kind of plays on an island. If you look at the amount of targets from the first 2 years of his career to the next 2 years of his career, they go down by about 40. So it's not as easy to make an interception if the ball is going to the other half of the field. Now, should he have 0 interceptions over 2 seasons? No, but interceptions can be a bit of a fluky thing, right? Sometimes the receiver drops the ball near you and you're able to scoop it up for a pick. Other times he catches it and what could have been a lucky play for you ultimately isn't. But if you look at his ranking from PFF over his 4-year career, we're looking at 24th, 52nd, 2nd, or 22nd, I should say, and 52nd. Typo on my end. But regardless, AJ Terrell has been one of the better cornerbacks, and this Falcons defense needed to lock down their best corner for the future with him going into the final year of his contract. So circling back to that 4-year, $81 million deal, how would you grade this extension? A, B, C, D, or F? Let me know in the comment section what grade you would give it. Personally, I'd give it a B+. I think it's a little bit on the higher end, but I do think that's just the way contracts work. And ultimately, it's not about hey, if you're the 3rd best player, you should be paid the 3rd most. That's just not how contracts work. Look at Josh Allen and Patrick Mahomes. They reset the market when they were up, and now they're falling down the quarterback leaderboard. But same goes for other positions. I didn't expect him to get $20+ million a season, but I also don't think if you thought he's only worth $18 or $19 million a season, it's worth having a little mini meltdown going, the guy's getting an extra $1 million a year from the Falcons. Now it's an awful deal. No, it's not. Like, this is just the way contracts work. Players tend to get maybe a little bit more than what they are worth. And not very often do teams like find true bargains or steals. Like Hassan Reddick, Matthew Judon are kind of examples of that. But we see how that ends. The player wants more money, and then ultimately it ends in a trade. So I think this is a good outcome for both sides. I'm happy the Falcons got this done. And next we're going to talk about with this extension done, it opens up some money that could be spent on a free agent, which we're going to look at in just a moment. But first, I want to tell everyone watching about Game Time. If you want to go catch the Falcons preseason finale against the Jags this weekend, a Braves game before the season wraps up, or any other sporting event in your local area, download Game Time today because they are giving Falcons fans $20 off their first purchase when you download the app and redeem code CHATSPORTS. Now, terms apply, but Game Time has so many awesome features. One of them being you can actually get a bird's eye view of your seat before you purchase your tickets. That way, when you show up, you're not surprised or like hiking up to the top of Mount Everest going, I didn't realize we were this far in the nosebleeds. No, with Game Time, there's full transparency. You know exactly what you're purchasing before you do. So download the Game Time app today and redeem that code CHATSPORTS for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply, but again, create an account and redeem code CHATSPORTS for $20 off. Download Game Time today. Last minute tickets, lowest price guaranteed. I put all that information in the comments and description of today's video. Now let's give Terry Fontenot some credit. The man has been busy the last week. Traded for Matthew Judon, signs Justin Simmons, and then extends AJ Terrell. I don't know if I've ever seen a team be this active with this level of like star power player right before the season begins. Like sometimes you get a late trade like Khalil Mack, right? It does happen before the season kicks off. But man, a trade, a signing, and an extension to guys who have Pro Bowl and All-Pro experience amongst them all, that's pretty rare to see this late in the game. So shout out to Terry Fontenot for getting shit done, to be blunt. But I'm a fan of it. Like I wanted to see Terrell get extended. I thought maybe the Falcons might wait till middle of the season. If there is one like devil's advocate thing to say about this extension, it's AJ Terrell. He's a very well-rounded corner. I do think he does a little bit better in man versus zone. And I think Raheem Morris is going to run more of a zone defense just based on what the Rams did last year. He could adjust his personnel. We ultimately have to wait and see. But if this were to go south, I think that could be one thing we look back at. But I think Terrell is just too talented to truly like bottom out just because of the defensive scheme. Now, final thought here. The final need for the Atlanta Falcons, a wide receiver. Like they lost Rondale Moore, okay? They signed Jakeem Grant. He gets hurt and he retires. There's still a need for a wide receiver, and when you extend AJ Terrell, you opened about $9 million in cap space. So if the Falcons are looking around the market a little bit, thinking, hey, there were some guys that we did some homework on, but their asking price, even though they really can't be, too picky, beggars can't be choosers, was a little bit north of what we were willing to pay. Maybe that changes now with some extra cap space. Here are, in my opinion, the top 3 wide receivers on the market: Hunter Renfrow, Michael Thomas, Juju Smith-Schuster. Here's the problem. They all suck. So I'm not in love with any of them. If I had to pick one, it's not even about Hunter Renfrow being better than Thomas or Juju. It's more about him bringing something to this offense that's somewhat missing right now, which is a true slot wide receiver. Now, Kyle Pitts is going to dominate a lot of the slot snaps, but it would be nice to have a backup for him just in case an injury pops up or something like that. Darnell Mooney is not a slot wide receiver. Drake London is not a slot wide receiver. Ray McCloud, to be honest, is not even really much of a receiver. He's primarily been a special teamer his entire NFL career. Through 7 or 8 seasons, he has 750 career receiving yards. So he's in for the largest role of his entire NFL career this season, going back to his early days in Pittsburgh, where he ultimately got phased out of the receiving department and became a core special teamer. So between Juju, who really sucks, by the way, Thomas, who is washed, Renfrow, he doesn't have a ton of great seasons behind him outside of that 1,000-yard year, which is a distant memory from now. But maybe we can accept that's just a part of, hey, Josh McDaniels was awful. He was an absolute Grinch in Las Vegas. He hated Hunter Renfrow, so the ball never went to him. Jimmy Garoppolo stunk. Aiden O'Connell was not much better, but marginally better. And there's Devontae Adams to throw to, so who do you think the ball's going to go to? That might be a decent explanation for Renfrow putting up 25 grabs for 255 yards last year. So I think Renfrow would be the best fit for what the Falcons need in a wide receiver. Now, I have seen a lot of people chat and comment about bringing back Julio Jones. He played for the Eagles last year, if you don't know, which is going to be great trivia in about a decade. Kind of like Jerry Rice. Do you guys know where Jerry Rice played his final season? 11 receptions, 74 yards, 3 touchdowns. I don't want Julio to come back just to be like a charity case. This is a new team. The Julio Jones era Falcons is mostly gone except for Jake Matthews and Grady Jarrett and a little bit of Chris Lindstrom. So I'm ready to kind of close the book on Julio. But if he wants to come back and the Falcons feel like he can still play at a high level, he's not going to be in for a large role. But I don't think anyone would have an issue with Julio coming back. Although it does feel like a little bit of a make-a-wish situation and not like, hey, we're trying to win playoff games, not just put butts in seats to win the crowd over. But let me know, do you want to bring Julio Jones back? Give me a yes or no in the comments section below. Give me your thoughts on the possibility of Julio ending his career with the Falcons, which he definitely will. I hope he will, at least on a one-day contract, but maybe he's got a little bit of gas left in the tank. By the way, that trivia question, the Seattle Seahawks, that's where Jerry Rice went to end his career. He actually was on the Broncos during training camp, and during training camp, they're like, just so you know, you're wide receiver 4. And he's like, whoa, if that's the case, I'm just going to retire. So you can find a very rare Jerry Rice Broncos picture somewhere in the internet. That's going to do it for us on today's video. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Enjoy the rest of your day, and we'll see you all later.